I'm excited to talk to you today about basically our exit plan. How are we going to make the most succinct plan so we avoid failure as we are planning our move, our sabbatical, our new nomadic life abroad? And so today, I definitely wanted to start off by saying, one, um, I thank you for the tremendous show of force as it comes to this topic. The subscriber count is ridiculous. The comments are massive. I do want to comment to as many people that I can as I can. So I will get to, of course, the ones that deserve comments. The other ones we'll expose during our late night chats and at the top of our lives. We won't do it today just simply because we have another one this evening at 8 p.m. So make sure you are here this evening as we talk about digital nomadness, right? How can we obtain visas in other countries? I think there are over 50 countries that offer digital nomad visas where you can plop yourself down from anywhere from 6 months to a year. I think a few maybe 3 months with the ability to extend. So we'll talk about that later on tonight at 8 p.m. and I will do my expose of the comments and Q&A. So without further ado, my name is Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. On this channel, we talk all things relevant to wellness, travel, and finance from a Black woman's perspective, from a cultural point of view. I am also the founder of Black Travel and Culture brand and community, which was launched back in 2017. Right now, we're over 300,000 strong on social media platforms. The goal is to bring the live events back. We kind of went to a digital format after, the shutdown of the world. But I am looking to bring those. It's called Black Travel Talks Live, basically, where we bring together experts and journalists and travelers who have, quit their 9 to 5s and made travel their full-time business, people who have retired. We bring together experts to share their stories on how they were able to do it and sustain. And so if you could do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. The next foreseeable future, we are going to come to you with a specific goal to push this movement that we have options, the movement that the U.S. is not the only place that we can call home, the movement that we need to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. If you like any of the information that I share, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. It's a way to say thank you, and it's also a way to say YouTube, more people need to see this and they will listen. If you don't hit the like button, they may not listen. And then if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. Also, share this with a loved one. Share this with someone who may not know that I exist, may not know that they need to start trying to plan for their future, may not know of some of the resources that are available to us. So if you can share it with someone, that would be great. And so like I said, I don't want to ramble too much today. And I'm actually even going to do something that I probably won't do again, but because I am so passionate with this movement and I know some people are short on time, I am going to give you the list in batches of 4. So I'm just going to tell you the first 4, and then we'll go over in detail what that looks like. And then I'll give you the next 4. And so you could stay, you could fast forward, you could watch on a higher speed, do whatever you want to do, but just get the information and pass it on. Sharing is caring. So happy Friday. If you hear sirens or anything like that, it's Friday in New York City. I don't know what sounds you may hear. Just ignore it. I'm okay. But I heard some sirens going off a little while ago. So just wanted to prepare you for that. So let's get into it. A lot of us have seen all over social media these, funny posts, and I'll do air quotes for funny because they're really serious. Um, what was one of them? Mexico's going to have to build a wall to keep us out from crossing the border after, the events of a couple weeks ago and all of the news, the continuous news about the insanity that is going on, right? But this is going to be our new normal. It doesn't have to be. We have options. And most of us, I will say, have options. There are some clink clink that can't go nowhere, right? So for those of us that can, let's at least know what those are. Let me say hi to some people. Oh, hey Moni. What's up? I'm so glad you're here again. Thank you for the support. Thank you for tuning in and engaging and all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Hey, Kevin R., welcome back. Good to see you again. And hello, Sonia Farmer. Thank you for your information. It was very helpful. Now, I don't usually have this tag on light in my face, so it's blinding me a little, but it's okay. So we hear some of the memes, right? And another one is the new American dream is escaping America. Like, to me, that is, I love it. I love it. And as someone who has already gotten her residency in another country, I wish I would have done this years ago, and I wish I would have had more options. Americans are the least likely to embark on dual citizenship, dual residency, dual passports, and all of that. Other countries are more likely to engage in that. And let me just tell you, tonight, I told you digital nomad is the topic. Tomorrow, we are going to do a review of 2025, because I don't care what you may think is going on. We are going to hear from the words of the founders of this it's not even a document, this manifesto. And just in case anyone has any time to read through it, you should be, I won't even say nervous, you should be planning your next move, right? And so tomorrow we're going to just do a quick review of the top, and I won't even say top because it's so bad, everything's so bad, but we can't review the whole document, but we're going to call out certain things, hopefully, so you can understand what's going on and why there's such an urgency in us getting ready so we don't have to stay ready. And I am committed to coming live at least through Wednesday of next week. And I'm going to come back after that, but I know Thursday's a holiday, so you'll get some, I'll do some videos that I can just upload, and then we'll come back one day. I don't know if it'll be Friday, Saturday, but definitely today through Wednesday, we will have at least one live a day. Today, you're lucky you're getting two, and then we'll be back. This is a movement. Every movement needs momentum in order for it to have an impact. And so that is why I'm committed to coming on live daily for the foreseeable future, with the exception of maybe the holidays. We need rest. We need rest. So anyway, I did say I wasn't going to ramble. We're already in 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and get into what the topic is. So we're going to discuss 8 steps to a smooth, well-planned exit from the US. And an exit can mean permanent, an exit can mean temporary. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are giving up our citizenship, but just knowing that we have options of places that we can go. And so, as I say on this channel all the time, failing to plan is planning to fail. And if anyone has ever heard of the 7 Ps, do me a favor. I'm not gonna tell you what they are right now. I'll come back later. But if you've ever heard of the 7 Ps, type it in the comments and let me know. If not, at the end, somebody remind me and I'll tell you what they are. So let me see. Let me just say hi to a couple other people and then we'll get into it. Oh, good morning, John Wig. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Good morning. Oh, Shanzi, 81, you're back. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for all the questions, all the comments yesterday. You helped out a lot. You helped me out a lot. And same, although I can't catch live all the time, but I do catch, yes. And so that's perfect. And you could always go to my community post, see what the latest lives were, see the links and come directly. And all of these videos will go in the Move Abroad playlist. So please feel free to, I have a water delivery, but I should finish before it comes. That was that little beep. So anyway, okay, let's get into it. So the 7 P's, somebody comment and let me know what those are. And let's just get into, I do have notes over here. So let me just see. Oh, did I say welcome? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I already told you who I was. I'm here to bring you gems. We go live every day and, you know, we are not done yet. This is day number 13. And check out the playlist, the Move Abroad Gems playlist. And so let's just get into number 1. But I do want you to listen, take notes, research, and then execute. Rewatch, research, and then execute. And so that is pretty much the overall theme of the information I'm about to give you, because if you don't get this information, if you don't soak it in, and if you don't execute on it, then it's a waste of time. So let's just get into number 1. Number 1 is related to a video that we did earlier actually, it was the first video. So last week, Sunday, we did a video on 5 things we must do now. And that is to get all of your paperwork in order, all of your documents in order. That should be first and foremost before you plan anything, because you absolutely need those documents, rather you stay, rather you go, rather you know, for whatever reasons, or you're thinking about it, just get your paperwork in order. And what I mean by paperwork, we already talked about it. You can watch the video. I'm not going to go into details, but it's the birth certificate, it's the passport, it's the social security card, it's your government ID. And you could go as extensive as you want to, but those are the top required documents. So again, passport, social security card, birth certificate, and if you have a state issued ID like a driver's license, make sure those are up to date, not expired, not about to expire. If they are, get them renewed as soon as possible. So that's number 1. Get all of your paperwork in order. Oh, I said I was going to give you the first 4, 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll get into details. Number 2 is something that most people don't talk about, and it bothers me because I keep hearing I can't afford a passport. Oh, I can't afford to move. I can't afford this. There's something I like to call finders and keepers. A lot of us have money that the government is holding for us. So rather it's your state government or the federal government, if you are not searching for your lost funds, and not just your lost funds, many of us have lost relatives during, 2020, 21. Check their names if you are a direct heir or direct heir or recipient. Look for any lost coins. When I meet with my clients, that is one of the first things I tell them to do. We don't want to leave no coins on this side, right? We want all of our money. And a lot of times we don't know that we may have had a rebate or a insurance claim that we didn't even know about, and it's sitting either in your state government or in the federal government. And I did a video a couple years back. I'll actually link that here and in the description, and you can search. The title is How to Find like Lost Money, and I walk you through, like, literally pull up the site, give you examples, and find people's money. I also have an investment club. That is the first thing we do. And when I tell you, we have found thousands upon thousands of dollars for people. I actually found $4,000 in my name from a brokerage account that I started when I was 18 years old. Forgot about it. The brokerage account went under, well, sold to different people, but the money still stayed in there, and the investment was so little. Like, somebody was, I knew, was becoming a broker, getting their, got their Series 7, needed a client. I think I gave, it was little. It was 100, 200, 300. It was something small. And then um, I found out that $4,000 was sitting waiting for me. So find your coins. Oh, I said I was supposed to give you three, two, three, four. God, blame it to my head, not to my heart. So 3 is, I'm gonna come back to 2 in a second. 3 is be honest about the reasons why you want to leave. There are so many reasons. Okay, let me just give you 4, and then we'll come back to 3. And then be honest about your needs, wants, likes, and dislikes. And that will all lead to the destination. And so let's get back to the finders keepers. Definitely do your search for lost funds. Some people literally had a weight lifted off their shoulders when they, now everybody doesn't have a whole lot of money, even if it's $20. Like, that $20 could go towards renewal of a document, right? And it doesn't have to come out of your pocket. So make sure you do that. And then keepers, what I like to call keepers. So many of us have subscriptions, have recurring monthly bills for a lot of things that we don't even use, right? And so I want you to specifically go through that list. Like, what are you paying for on a regular basis? And is it useful still? Like, I know during, the world shutdown, a lot of us subscribe to these, educational whatevers, and we don't use them anymore, but we may still be getting charged. So I want you to literally take time to go through all of that information and get rid of the stuff you don't need. That is found money. It is money that is being wasted. So let's check out the government and also check out your recurring charges and see what you can get rid of, because finances is the number one issue when it comes to people saying they don't believe they can, or they believe they're stuck. They don't have the money. So let's try to find as much money as we can. And then 3 was be honest about the reason why you want to leave. So many of us, see other people leaving and we adopt whatever their story is to make it our story. No, no, no. We have to be honest about why. A lot of people's why right now is based on the political climate. that's the new, I mean, it's been that way for a few years now, but the urgency that's happening now is due to the political climate. But other people, it's quality of life. There's people that are suffering from, various ailments that they're tired. They're tired here because they can't seem to get well. And so maybe that's your story. Maybe it's like you want to go someplace where there's fresher fruit, like Italy. When you look at the ingredients on a bottle of Heinz ketchup in Italy, for those of you who've seen this, great. If you haven't, this is ridiculous. There's like 3 ingredients: tomatoes, water, salt, maybe 4. But they're everything on the back of the Heinz ketchup bottle, we know what it is. Try looking on the back of a Heinz ketchup bottle here in the US. I don't know, is it 15, 20 different ingredients, and some of them you can't even pronounce. So maybe people are looking to get away to have a better quality of life. And that also includes like ease of pace and all that other stuff. Cost of living is another reason. But be honest about your why, because my why is not your why, is not their why. Like, you have to know your why and be completely transparent about it. If you want to get away from a spouse, like if you want to get away from your deadbeat children, whatever your why is, you have to be honest and make a list, because that will keep you motivated. And I'm going to bring it up. I have this plan to produce workbook that not only do I use on a regular basis to keep me honest, but my investment accountability group uses it as well. And what it is, it's a commitment, it's a document that allows you to stay on track week by week. So we're not, you know, talking about we're going to write everything down that we're going to do for next year. We're going to write what we're going to do this week based on the goal that we want to achieve. And so if it's this week, we are going to research, or this week, I am going to figure out my whys for wanting to exit, write them down, research a couple of places, and then at the end of that week there's an area for you to hold yourself accountable. And we take pledges, we don't make promises. A pledge is a solemn oath. We take a pledge to ourselves, we give ourselves our word that we are going to accomplish these things on a weekly basis. And at the end of 4 weeks, 28 days, you will be amazed how much you will accomplish. So it's a plan to produce accountability workbook. The link, if it's not in the description of this video yet, it will be, but it's in yesterday's video, and it's available now at a discount, and it's downloadable. So you can check that out. But be honest about the reasons why. And then we're going to go to be honest about your needs, wants, likes, and dislikes. So if you want to leave and you want to go and you're thinking like Mexico is a safe landing, but you hate to try to learn another language, or you hate the sound of Spanish, or you are not, you have some type of trauma from your Mexican neighbor. I don't know. Just think of all the things that could make you be adverse to Mexico. Don't follow somebody else's leads. You have to put exactly what your needs, wants, likes, and dislikes are. You have to honestly say to yourself, okay, I dislike hot weather, right? That's going to eliminate a lot of places. Or I dislike rainy season. That's going to eliminate a lot of places during certain times of year. I get altitude sickness, right? That will eliminate other places. So you have to be honest. Your needs, your wants, your likes and dislikes are equally important to me. Some people say your needs and wants are most important, but you have to marry that with your likes and dislikes if you want to have a successful exit plan. Now, if you just want to get out, it is what it is. Do it now, figure it out later, then that's fine. But definitely include those, and it will help you get to the right destination. So the first 4 that we went over, get all of your paperwork in order. The finders keepers strategy, which looking for lost funds as well as wasted funds. Be honest about the reason why you want to get out of, you want to exit. And you can apply this as well, even if you're not trying to leave the country, but you want to leave your state or your city, whatever the reasons are. Wherever you want to go, this is applicable. It doesn't have to necessarily be out the country. I tend to talk about leaving the country because that is my plan, and that is why I got residency in another country. So let's go through the next 4 really quick, and then I'll come back to each one. So I'm going to look at the list so I don't even start talking again until we go back to it. I'm going to want you to deep dive your income and expenses. I want you to compare that, your income, your expenses, your likes, your dislikes, the reasons why you're leaving, all of that to the immigration, to the country that you're interested in, and their visa requirements and immigration rules. Then we'll come back to that. I want you to then start building your community. You may not even think you have a community yet, but you can start building one. There are so many platforms that you can, and resources that you can turn to start building your tribe, that will help encourage you, that will help keep you motivated, that will give you extra insight from people that are going through the similar similar process. Oh, let me stay on track. Build your community and your tribe. We're going to come back to that. Set a deadline and then execute on each step of that deadline. So you want to at least start filling out applications for residency here in the US by May of 2025. You have to execute on that. Write down what that is and then execute on that. And that's also where that plan to produce workbook will help you. And the good thing about it being downloadable, you can just reuse it each month. Every 4 weeks, just reprint it and have more goals. And if you don't meet one goal, you carry it over to the next week and so on and so on. And then the last and final, well, it's not really the final. There are other steps which will be included in a more overarching, encompassing, what did I call it? Massive resource guide. But for today's live, the 8th one is going to be wills. Make sure your will is in order. Make sure your trust, if that's your choice, if you're doing a trust instead of a will, your power of attorneys, like if you need somebody to sign on your behalf for things while you are away, and your health proxy. Those are 4 documents that you need to have completed before you leave, because it becomes costly to have to come back to sign a document. Now, everybody may not have somebody that they could trust with their power of attorney. So I'm not saying just give your power of attorney away, but think about who that person can be, and what things they would be able to sign for in your behalf. So they have durable and non-durable power of attorneys. We could talk about that later, but there's different levels to having a power of attorney. And your health proxy is really important, because if something happens to you and God forbid they have to bring you back to the US for medical whatever, that needs to be ready to go if you're incapable of communicating, right? And so go ahead and get that done. I'm going to go back in details over those last 4, but let me just see, because I can't see any questions. Somebody, hey, Double M, welcome back. Good morning to you. Hold on. This says eBag. Good morning, Kim. New subby here. What time zone are you in? Announcing the time zone with the time of the scheduled live will let us know when to catch you. I usually put ET or EST. If I didn't do it for this one, my bad. But you'll see in my community post, it will say, if you check my community post, I always post when we're going live, at least the day before. It may be at 12 hours, but like today we're going live twice. So I just posted earlier this morning what time I don't know if I even posted. I didn't want to confuse people with this live. So it may be scheduled to be posted in like an hour or so. So I try to do that, because I know everybody's on different time zones. And then yeah, so thank you for that. And then Adrian Heaton, good morning. One of my best friends' names is Adrian. Since 6th grade. Good to see you. Okay, so I am going to get back into 5, 6, 7, 8 with a little bit more details. But now you have all 8. So if you need, listen, I understand. I understand. I understand that people got places to go, things to do, people to see. I get it. So not all videos will be this format, but this video, because I want people to start their exit plans and their exit strategy right now, today. And if you need help, there are resources that I have put together, including a For Here to There resource guide with over, or I'm going to say 101, I'll just say clickable links to 8 of the most popular destinations for Black people looking to escape, looking for an exit plan. It includes Canada, it includes Mexico, it includes Panama, it includes the Netherlands. So if you go to the link, look for the For Here to There resource guide. Right now it's under $13. It's $5 off, which will be going up next week unless you do the bundle. So if you just want to get it now, go ahead and get it. The good news about it is if you do get it now or whenever you get it, once the massive resource guide is available, and you want to order that, everyone will get a coupon for the price they paid for that resource guide. So it's like you're getting this resource guide for free because a lot of that information will be in the massive book. So I don't want you to double dip, right? So if you want to start now, and those places, those 8 places or someplace you may be interested in, go ahead and get that resource guide. The massive guide is almost done, but there are quite a few countries that I'm still waiting for 2025 visa requirement information and residency information. They haven't listed the requirements for it yet. They tend to do that in December, and I didn't want to give you dated information. So as soon as I have all of that information, it will be ready to go. And of course, I will announce it and update the description with the links. Okay, so let me see. There's one more comment before I get back to 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so last night you ended a live to do another video and you said for us to join, but I didn't see it. Yeah, and it's so weird. If you look at, so the name of the video is like Black families who moved from the US to Mexico. When I went to join, I couldn't join. And the first pinned comment says, I don't see the chat, but I'm here. So if you see this, ask your questions. The weird thing is I knew it was supposed to be a premiere because you can only premiere a video one time. It premiered, it shows on my site that it premiered, and I can't re-premiere it. So I don't know what happened. At the end of the day, if you go to yesterday's video, which was about, oh my goodness, Lord, I got a lot going on. So if you go to yesterday's video, which was about worst countries for Black Americans to live, in the description, you will see the link to our conversation with Ebony. So I apologize for that. Good morning. I am new here. Thank you for sharing. I'm ready. Yes. Good to see you. Blessed and highly favored. Highly favored. Thank you for joining. And we're coming back tonight at 8 to talk about the digital nomad life as it relates to us from, a cultural perspective, because money is definitely a key factor when we look to move abroad. And you can be a digital nomad at any age. And there are still over 50 countries that allow digital nomad visas. So we're going to talk about that at 8 o'clock tonight. And then tomorrow at 9 a.m., we are going to talk about Project 2025, because a lot of people think this is a game. And even some of my comments is like, oh, you need to stay, you need to fight, and I'm like, have you read Project 2025? Do you see it already playing itself out in the beginning stages? This is above me, Lord. Like that. Listen, we can't even come together to decide what we're going to call ourselves, right? And so as much as I love my community, I know we're too divisive right now to combat their numbers and their agenda. So at the end of the day, everybody got to make, the decisions that's right for them. So, okay, let's get back to 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 was... compare. Oh, yeah. So we talked about deep diving your income versus your expenses. You need to know what is left right now and what your budget to move will look like. That was really number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you know what? The wills trust, that was a bonus. I forgot. I'm not even looking. It's not numbered. It's just boxes, so I could check off what I go over, which I wasn't even doing. But yeah, so let's go to compare your visa requirements based on your income, your expenses, and your budget. And you have to take into consideration everything when you talk about your expenses. How much is it going to cost you to get there? What is health insurance going to look like for you and your entire family, right? shipping stuff, right? That comes with the cost. So those are the things. And there's a couple people that I would refer if you want to start looking at planning a budget, right? And so there is a woman named, or a channel named Picky Girl Travels the World. She relocated to, well, she's lived in China, she's lived across the world. She's a globetrotter, and she retired to Mexico early. She's been featured on CNBC, and she retired on a teacher's salary, and now she coaches people and has been doing this for a while on how to budget. So her name is Picky Girl Travels the World on YouTube. I will come up with other resources, but that's a good one to know for now. And when I say come up, I know other people, but I just want to make sure that they're still doing it and that they're still um, in good standing before I say them on this channel. But Picky Girl Travels the World, I highly recommend. Okay, so we definitely need to get that budget together. Then this is very, very important. Building your community and your tribe. This is the perfect time to kind of do that. Like with the holidays coming up, from now through the end of the year, many of us see more family than we ever see during throughout the year. We see more friends. We do, holiday things and get-togethers. Now, I'm a firm believer, you don't tell everybody your plan, but you start getting feelers out. You want to know who's going to be your ally and who's not, right? E- Everybody is not going to get it, and that's okay. And you're going to have to let them stand where they are, and while you keep on pushing through. But you do want to start putting feelers out. So rather it's your sister, your brother, your, you know, parents are a little harder to sell, about leaving the country. Most parents are in our community. So start with those where you think it may be the path of least resistance, and just start like, just blurt it out, not blurt it out, but with strategy, be like, listen, I'm starting to plan my next move, or having a plan B. I don't want to just be caught with no options. Would love to talk to you about what I'm thinking about, but tell them with no judgment. Like, I just want you to hear what I'm talking about, and then just let me know like what your plan B is, and start fostering the tribe within your friends and family. And also, like I said, social media is a great resource. There are so many expat communities. There are so many planning to be expat communities of color. And yes, I still say of color. But as you can see, my channel is, and my travel community is Black. Black Travel and Culture is the name of my travel brand. But I will say, people, listen, you want information from all sources. I get information from white people, Black people, brown people, like I get information from Americans that have expatriated to Mexico, because that is my journey and I need to know what everyone is saying. Now, you're building your tribe with people of like minds. You're building your tribe. So if you're a single mother trying to do this, you want to find community with other single mothers, because 20-something-year-old millennial is not going to have this. I mean, not millennial, Gen Zer is not going to have the same needs, wants, desires, likes, dislikes as you will have. So you want to start building your tribe that way. And in the resource guide, and even in the From Here to There resource guide that's available now, there are links to some of the tribes that you could start getting involved in, and asking questions. Okay, so set the deadline is the next step. Once you start doing all of this, you do your plan, your planning, your commitment to yourself to get these things done. You set a deadline, and then you work backwards into your deadline. So if by the end of 2024, you want to figure out your top 5 destinations that would be the best fit for you. So definitely, and I say always start no more than 5 places, right? Because what's going to happen is you're going to think of places, and it should always be places where you kind of always wanted to live that you start out with. But once you start seeing the requirements, or the seasons, or things are going to fall by the wayside. And as one falls off, you can always add another, but don't overwhelm yourself. Start with 5 places max. There's 198 countries, I believe. So there's a lot to, go through. So, yeah, so set the deadline and execute on each step. And also, when it comes to, we're moving on now to the wills, trust, power of attorney, and health proxy, you need to set a deadline for that as well. And so, um, that could be your goal for the end of this year, or getting all your documents could be your goal for the end of this year, or getting enough funds to do all of these things, get the paperwork, the renewals, and all of that could be your goal for the next 4 weeks. How am I going to do it? What can I do? And that could start with looking online, researching, are there any missing funds, or what are the subscriptions that I could cancel to make that happen? And so, yeah, so that's pretty much all 8. So let's go through them again. Get all of your paperwork and documents in order. There's a video that we did a couple days ago that talks about that. Finders, keepers, look for money and learn find ways to save money. Be honest about your reasons why. Be honest about your needs, wants, likes, and dislikes. We also talked about, a couple days ago, we talked about a lady who, her name is Linnell. She has a YouTube channel called From Poverty to Paradise. And she is now living on a cruise ship full time. She has set her budget at $2,000 per month. And she has been able to travel the world, eat on a cruise ship full time with a $2,000 a month budget. And that includes, cruises, they all you can eat, steaks, seafood, desserts, I think, liquor or alcohol is absolutely additional, but still. So check out her channel as well. I think that's a good, even if you don't want to live on a cruise ship, she talks about budgeting and how to set your budget. So she's another good resource for budgeting. Deep dive your income and expenses. You have to be really honest. If you're spending $400 a month on your nails, you got to be honest about that and cut it out unless you can afford it. If you can truly afford it, then God bless you. But if you're looking for ways to cut back, that's what you have to do. You have to be honest about your expenses, and you also have to be honest about your income. Like, how much are you currently bringing in, and how does it compare to your expenses? And if it's off or lopsided, then how do you figure that out? And I already gave a reference. If you want some professional help, Picky Girl Travels the World is a good place to start. Build your community and your tribe with your friends, your family, your current network, and also in tandem, try to extend to social media tribes or communities that can help you, and be active in those. I need to keep saying that. So many people lurk, and they'll be in a community for 2 years, and then one day it's like, hi, I've never said anything, I've just been watching. I know you had a question, I know you had a thought, I know you had a comment. Like, be active so that people know that you're there. And when people see you and see you raise your hand and ask questions, they're more likely, if there's something special that's happening, they may call you out in your inbox or something like that and let you know, hey, there's a meetup, or hey, this is happening, or there's a new rule or new law, whatever. So build your tribe in your community. Set your deadline. You need to set a deadline, and you need to execute on that deadline. Period. Exclamation point. We could plan, but if we do not have a deadline, then we're messed up. So I have an investment club or investment community. It's called Investing for Independence, and our mantra is, we stay woke. Woke stands for wealth is obtained through knowledge and execution. Exclamation point. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you do not execute on your investment strategy, then it won't matter. So I'm going to say, you know what? We out is obtained through knowledge and execution. So we out, the famous Harriet Tubman t-shirt mantra. we out in 2025 through is going to be obtained through knowledge and execution. And then finally, um, is the wills, trust, power of attorney, health proxy that we're going to work on, because that is equally as important, especially when you are leaving the country and you still have business that needs to be taken care of within said country. But the health proxy is just important anyway. And so, yeah, so check out the resource guide. I'm going to come back to any comments or questions, and I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. I think we're good. Let's just see if there's any questions. Okay, so let's see. Oh, that's the full screen. I need to see the questions. And did anyone get what the 7 Ps were? And don't go anywhere. I just need to let the door open so the water comes. So just give me one. It's not even gonna take a second. I just need, hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go to what was next. Shanzi 81, thanks. Green beans. I just thought of the song. I got green tomato, uh, you know. So anyway, do me a favor. I don't know. Good morning. Thanks for being a new subscriber. Happy Friday. Happy holidays. It's nice. I'm so happy to hear that. Reminding me to tell people, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. I appreciate it. And the thumbs up if you like anything that I said so far. And don't forget, we're back tonight at 8 p.m. talking about digital nomad countries, and then tomorrow at 9 a.m. talking about, yeah, you think it's a game, right? We're gonna review Project 2025, so you know that it's not. Hey, Anita Leach, happy Friday. I find my ideas of wanting to move from the country is more supportive with close friends and not so much with family, maybe a small few of family members. Yeah, I see that. I believe that. And again, you have to know when to just stop talking to people. Um, it's good to test the waters, because sometimes, a lot of that is driven out of fear and fear of the unknown. But when you start educating people, and that's even what I noticed with like racism, um, the coolest white people that I've met are travelers or people who have explored other cultures and seen the world. The worst white people that I've met or people that stay in their homes, have the same neighbors, go, socialize with the same people that look like them and never experience other cultures. So they are only dealing with preconceived notions. So you just have to know when to pull back from people and stop telling them, and just know, whoever is sending you these divine messages that you need to make this next step is going to guide you. It's going to guide you. And so whatever community you need to build, if it's friends, if it's family, if it's neither nor, and it's community outside of that, then just go ahead and do that, green beans. But I feel you on that. Yeah, family, especially ones that are set in their ways and have not explored the world, can be the most hard to convince. Ocido. Hey, Ocido. Good gems dropping here. Poor planning makes for piss poor performance. But that's the 5 Ps. But there's a 7 Ps too. But I use that sometimes too. But there's a 7 Ps, and a lot of people have shortened it to the 4 Ps. I mean the 5 Ps. And I'm gonna go through a couple more, but I just want to see if anyone else. Hold on. Oh, where's the screen? This thing going light. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So let's see what's next. Are there communities to help 60 and over traveling for the first time? Yeah, there are. And there are some on YouTube. And I actually am in the process of planning a interview with someone who strategizes or helps to strategize people over 50 and 60 to start on their next phase. And so if you go on to YouTube and follow Stephanie Perry, I don't know if you do, she's the founder of Exodus Summit, and I think she's co-founder. But anyway, she has a massive YouTube channel, and I think she has like over 160,000 followers. Within her content, she has talked to women 60 and over who have done this journey and how they did it. So that's a good resource to start. But there are other communities out there, and like I said, my goal is to have that conversation. It will probably be after the holidays, but just stay subscribed and I will definitely post when it's happening. Hey, Sharika Robinson, I don't have a passport and not sure where to start. I have the website to fill out the application, but I'm not sure how long it will take for my kids and I to get it. So right now, from the time you submit the application, it's 4 to 6 weeks processing time. And if you look in the comments under my passport video that I did this week, you'll see people commenting saying that it took them 2 weeks, it took them 3 weeks to get it. Now, where to start is all listed in us.gov, usstate.gov. Anyway, it's on the passport video. And it tells you exactly step-by-step process on how to do it. And if you're more visual, because I know a lot of people are visual, they even have videos on there that you can link to, or you can search YouTube University. There's a lot of videos talking about, passport and, things to start with. But I hope that helps. Yeah. So check out the website, but also, check YouTube. That has great information. Hey, Pam Ransom. Happy Friday to you. Sharika, happy Friday to you. Green beans, good advice, and thank you for the support of. Oh, you're welcome. Listen, this is a movement. And, when people say, and I've said this in another video, oh, you need to stay and fight, your ancestors would be disappointed. Let me tell you something. I was a girl who slept in the administration building of Howard University for change. I am an activist. I still celebrate Black Solidarity Day, and most people don't even know what it is today, right? However, I also follow my ancestors like Harriet Tubman, who was like, yo, we out. It's time to go. If she would not have done that, our ancestors would not have left the South to come up north or to the West for better life, better quality of life. They even crossed borders. The Underground Railroad didn't stop in the US. It went into Canada. It went into Mexico. Well, a different railroad, but they went across the border into Mexico. So I could be an activist, and this is my activism right here, helping my people know that we have options. We's free right now. Right now, we's free. And so we need to take advantage of that freedom, and we have options. And even if finances are a concern, there are ways to make it happen. And so I started this channel really talking about investing in the market. In my older videos, you will see did I hide them? They're probably still there. But through my Investing for Independence community that I started my community that we were underperforming as it related to investing in the stock market. So I was like, I need to tell my peoples. My peoples got to know, because the only way we're going to generate wealth is to invest in things versus consuming things that retain no value. And so anyway, so I'm good. I have no issues about chucking up the deuces and coming back like Ashley in Africa. I interviewed her. There's a couple of her videos that I posted, but she started saying like it goes both ways. If you don't want to stay, if you want this to be temporary, that's fine. If you want to come back and visit family, that's fine. I love New York in the summertime. I will probably be back in New York every summer. So we have choices, we have options, and that's until things really change. So, but I do live in New York, and right now we're okay. Are there any resources on which countries offer dual citizenship? Yeah, there's a lot of resources, but I can't call them offhand. But if you do a quick Google search, or what countries in 2025 or 2024, whatever you're looking for, offer U.S. citizens dual citizenship. And there are a lot of countries that will give you citizenship based off of your lineage. So a lot of African countries, if you can prove that you are a direct descendant from that particular country, you could probably get citizenship. It's the same for places in Europe. So yeah, so there's tons of resources, and I would just recommend doing a search. I don't really talk about citizenship on this channel because citizenship is really difficult to achieve, and right now we just need the residency. We need another home. And so most citizens have to be fluent in the language of that country, or at least passably fluent. And so, yeah, if you just do a quick search, you should be fine. How do you feel about Mexico's president saying that she will deport Americans? Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. The fake news. Show me a video where she said it, not a picture of her with a caption saying she said it. That's not going to happen. You know why? Because we are one of the strongest parts of their economy. The money that they are getting from Canadians and Americans, they will never do that. And guess who else will never let them do that? The cartel. Listen, it is what it is. So this I've heard this before, but you are not going to see her saying that, because she is, as a new president, one, would never say that. And two, our value to them is much greater than, and I don't even, the immigrant problem or the migrant problem that we have here in the US, where our money is funding, a lot of the migrants. And when I say our money, taxpayers' money, government money, when we go there, it's our retirement, it's our digital nomad money, it's our jobs. And there's too many corporate companies based in Mexico that have American employees. Like, it doesn't even make sense, but people, of course they want to scare people. That's a fear tactic to get us not to go. So you just gotta read, just do extra research and go to, that's why I always say a VPN. And I keep a link to get a VPN, because you will not get the real news over our internet service. You need to have a VPN where you can go directly. That's my water delivery. Hold on one second. Where you can go directly to their website and see what the real news is. Give me 1 second. Let me let. Done. Sorry about that. Okay, so how do you feel about so yeah, so do definitely get a VPN and get the real news. And I'm going to do a video about that too, just to show you some of the comparisons, because it's sad. And there was something else that just happened. What was the news report? Wait a minute. There was something else that just happened where they're trying to deter us from leaving the country. Oh my goodness. Did I take a screenshot? Oh, and I did before, I might forget what I'm about to say, but did you hear this latest story? This is how divided a country we are. There is a cruise line who has just started offering a 4-year voyage for those wanting to escape 47's reign. I'll just call it that. The name of the cruise ship is Villa V Residence is offering a 4-year cruise around the world for those wanting to escape the US during Donald Trump's second presidency. And I just thought about the other story, and I don't remember what country, but two young girls were just supposedly, is it Thailand? Yes, I think it's Thailand. I'm not even gonna look it up, but I think it's Thailand. Two young girls from Australia, but blonde hair. I think one was blonde hair, young girls. One didn't make it, but supposedly their drinks were spiked in another country. Now, listen, I'm not saying that this does not happen, but I always look at the timing of news stories. And another little fun fact about me, I was a journalism major. I studied journalism and media management. And so I understand. I understand uh, strategies and propaganda and sensationalism and how to achieve what they want. They know right now that the numbers to these immigration offices in these other countries are spiking through the roof. How do you slow that down? You start instilling fear in people. You instill fear in people, and they will not want to leave. They'll be too scared to leave, and those numbers will drop. And so just always follow the money and pay attention to the timing. The news cycle timing is always there. Hold on a second. Is always there. Sorry about that. It's always there to divert our attention or to lead us down a different course. So thank you so much. Hey, I said Sharika. Okay, just found your channel. EBAT. I wish I'd known I didn't need to return my passport for renewal. Knowing that I was getting out of the country to be free again made that my best picture ever. Congratulations, EBAT. Listen. So I'm curious, did they take they shouldn't have taken if you went into you know what, if you went to an agency, they probably did take it. If you renew online, which is new, they don't. You keep it. So yeah. Um, it was Laos. Oh, with the girls, right? Yes, yes, yes. It was Laos outside of Thailand. Exactly. And Thailand is a huge digital nomad country. A lot of American expats there. I told a story on how I met a retired couple that bops around the world all year. They're white. And every year they go to Thailand for like a month to vacation, but also get all of their healthcare done. All of their healthcare done. And because it's such an affordable, high quality destination for healthcare. And so, yeah, Laos is very close to Thailand. And so, or wait, Laos is part of Thailand. Anyway, yeah, it's popular. It's close to the most popular cities in Thailand, like Phuket, Bangkok, and Chiang Mai. So, bingo. Okay, I don't I don't know what that was in reference to, but I'll take it. um, I sent it in, didn't get the passport returned. That's weird. I have all my passports. That may have changed. Yeah, that's weird. But like I said, at this time I renewed online and I still have the passport. But before I forget, I also want to share the 7 P's with you. And so it's piss poor, oh, see, it's pulling up the wrong one and I don't want it. So it's piss poor performance produces. No, piss poor planning produces piss poor, shoot, piss poor. Oh, here it is. Proper planning, goodness, proper planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. There you go. Proper planning and preparation prevents piss poor performance. That's the 7 P's, but there are 5 P's. Some people, abbreviate it and just do the 5 P's. And so let's see, any more questions? The news fear mongering us 100%. And it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. I'm smiling because this is all expected. Like, none of this is shocking to me. And I talked about how corporate media is now in lockstep telling the same stories. There is no originality. And I don't know if anyone has seen the video where they took clips from 6 o'clock news stations from around the country. The broadcasters and the anchors are saying the exact same words. That never happened before. Never happened before. We used to write our stories. Now the editors would edit, but it wouldn't my story. I never was on the news, but I used to work in a newsroom. I interned in a newsroom, I should say. And at Howard, we also had a commercial news station and a college news station. And so I worked in those as well. So my trajectory in media was more on the publishing side, and I dealt with clients and sales and marketing and all that other stuff. But from a publisher side, which is the writing and the content, there were no two stories that were the same. And if it even looked like you were saying the same things, there would be a violation, like you were plagiarizing somebody or something. And so I see how things are going to change, especially with the digital media space, and so many of us consuming news from the digital media space, but now only having certain digital media that we get our information from. And then the situation going on with Twitter, and now with Elon Musk, who's brilliant. Listen, say what you want about the man. He is brilliant, and he understands this whole new robotic world and AI and how to get what you want, basically. And I don't want to get too far off a tangent, but anyway, I see how media is changing, and the mongering is only going to get worse and more impactful. And we kind of saw it in 2020 and 2021. We definitely saw it then, and even up till now. So the old passport will be returned after Kevin R. Okay. So you're answering what the person said. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Ebad, there you go. You're answering what Ebad said about not getting the passport back. So Kevin R is saying the old passport will be returned after your new passport about 10 days or so later. Oh, okay. So hopefully it's within that time frame and you'll get it back, because I've never heard them keep it. They always sent it back. But again, like I said, I haven't renewed for 9+ years. And 9.5 years. And so I'm not sure what the new, if you go into an agency is, or if you send because they didn't even want mine back. So they were like, keep it, you just can't use it. And so Green Bean says, how soon are you allowed to renew your passport? My current, you okay. My current one expires. I know we want to make sure we get as much time, right? But there's going to be, so I didn't talk about this, but there's going to be more changes to passports. And so passports are going to become obsolete as we know them, like the passport books. I don't even know if like there's certain countries now, you don't even get stamped now. Like they don't stamp you. You come in, they got all your information already. They don't even stamp you. So Aruba, that was the first place that happened to me. And this happened 7 years ago. 7 years ago, they did not. I was mad because I like my stamps, and they did not. They were like, come on through. So there's going to be a shift in passports. So by 2029, all of this may look different, and especially with what's going on with the new people coming in. It may look very, very different. So we are not sure, but you're good. 2029, and this is just 2024. So you got 5 years, you're good. I will be traveling at the end of the year. So can I renew when I return? No. They're probably not gonna, they're not gonna let you, nor would I even suggest it. So you're good. You're good. So how they say that if your passport expires less than a day less than a year, a full year. So today is the 22nd. So if your passport expired on November 21st of 2025, then you can renew today. You could start the renewal process today. Ebas says the homogenization of the U.S. news stories, no matter which region you're in. Yeah, 100%. No matter which region. Think about that. So the Northeast is hearing the same things as the Midwest at the same exact time. Not just the same thing, but it's in lockstep. So at 6:01, if you were able to shift to different news, the top news story will be the same in 95% of all of those markets. And so you're right. It's the writing is on the wall. And that's why I said this is a mission. That's why I'm going live every day, because I know this needs momentum. And in order to get momentum in the beginning, you have to be consistent. And with me, truth be told, I love my channel. Like I thought I brought great information, and I thought, I was semi-consistent sometimes. But I also have, a TikTok channel with over 170,000 people. I have a Facebook channel with over nearly 80,000 people. I have an Instagram with nearly 30,000. So it's like, I can't, but I'm like, YouTube is the biggest, the best. And so far, they haven't really been suppressing. So I said, let me come here. Let me share my journey, which, started back in 2022 on Residency, and just letting people know that it's doable. And I picked Mexico because I loved Mexico for a very, very long time. I hung out in Cancun many years. I never went really culturally. I went for this person's bachelor party, for a girls' trip, for fun, for, should I admit to it? Before, a rapper used to have a summer thing going on out there. He's in trouble now, but a mogul, I should say. So I've been to Mexico quite a few times, and I always had great memories. I spent New Year's in Mexico, and I used to be fluent in Spanish. I took Spanish from 5th grade through college. And so I was like, I always wanted to live in a Spanish-speaking country, and I like Mexico. So I knew Mexico was for me. And so that's why I wanted to do this channel. And that's why I wanted to make sure that the impact was great, especially now because of the urgency. We're less than 2 months from things, yeah. And with the House and the Senate listen, if just have options. That's all I say. And the options don't even have to be out of the US. If your city, if your state, if your job is causing you any type of angst, and if there's any problems with you feeling safe in that space, plan to get out, please. We don't deserve this treatment. It's abusive. We tell people not to stay in abusive relationships. That includes the country, the city, the town, the state, whatever. We need to find another way. Sekimit's Heart. I find myself only watching public broadcasting stations for news now because it seems they still have their journalistic integrity. And you know what? We'll see how long that lasts with the new situation we got coming. But you're right. I still, will check on NPR, and I check outside of this country's news to see what they are saying about this country, because this country will not let you know what the other countries are saying about this country. So that's why it's definitely good to see if you can get news from outside of this country, from major I would stick with some of the major countries, the countries with the most economic and global impact on the world. Yeah. And if you don't know about BRICS, look it up. There's a lot of things that's going to change. I already talked about how our passport ranking in the US fell from number 1 to number 8 within 10 years, right? And when I say number 8, I keep saying that it is number 8 with still 22, more than 20 countries ahead of us, because there are like three-way ties at number 7, two-way ties at number 6. So we went from being number 1 tied with the UK to being number 8 with 20 more countries with a more powerful passport than we have. And so yeah, this is, listen, I'm just sharing. I'm not making up the news. I'm just sharing what's going on. Let's see what's next. Hey, Stephanie, I appreciate your dedication, Kim. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate, having this divinely put on my heart and people showing up. And yeah, I do. This is definitely something that, I talked a little bit about on my channel. You'll see, I talked for years. So I'm not new to this. Like, I've been covering this stuff on my channel since 2022. I've been interviewing people who have made the move to Playa del Carmen. I've I shared videos of my likes and dislikes about Playa del Carmen. I shared my entire journey about residency, getting my residency in Mexico. And this has been over years. So I just feel compelled to share it with other people, because just like when I talk to people about stocks, there are so many of us that are behind the eight. We are just far behind in the knowledge, and it's no fault of our own. We were left out of the conversations. It's the same with having residency. It's the same with having doing medical tourism. It's the same with all the things that I talk about on my channel, health wise. Like, we don't cover the real conversations that other demographics are having. And, and we do it because I don't think we do it when we learn it because of the pushback that we get from certain things. Like, even when I did a video about veganism and vegetarianism, now I'm not a vegan, I'm a pescatarian, and I will eat bacon once or twice a year if I'm out at a brunch. So I'm not a Tabitha Brown type of vegetarian where she eats no meat. But I do notice a change, and I do notice how my labs look when I consume healthier foods. I don't really talk about weight loss because I don't believe you need to be skinny to be healthy. I know our genes and our gene pool is very different than our white counterparts. And so yeah, so we need to live in that. We need to share our stories, but we get a lot of pushback. Even I still get people, why you want to move to Mexico? Oh, you didn't hear what happened to Shanika Rob? Like, Shinquella? I don't want to mess up the girl's name, but there's always negativity that comes with doing something different from people who just don't understand. But I'm built for this. Like, I'm fine. I will continue to deal with the comments that I get, which, and I'll share it tonight at 8 o'clock. I'll start off tonight talking about some of the comments for the first couple of minutes. But again, I'm built for this, and it was put on my heart to do it. And it was put on my heart to also share other people who are in this movement and are doing it at a high level and are helping people doing it. Like, I want all of you to have all the resources to help in the journey. Okay, so let's see what else. I like France 24 for news. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. I don't really watch a lot of French news, even though that's another place I fell in love with and a lot of Black people hate. But again, French people can be, I don't even want to say rude. They can be like New Yorkers, and I'm a New Yorker, and I'm fine with that. But if you are a Southerner with Southern hospitality and you just have to speak to everybody as you're walking by and ask them how they're doing, and that's not their vibe. And so I literally met some of the coolest white people in France, some very nice older people, some and got invited to like they're very into literature and arts, and I just learned a lot and I like to learn. So um never think I'm the smartest person in the room, and I like to absorb from other people, and France is one of those places. If you go with an open mind, you can learn. Now how they treat the African migrants, that's a whole different story. But yeah, so let's go on to whose passport do you recommend in addition to to a US passport? That's a personal listen, um that's like saying what restaurant in New York would you recommend for someone who likes food? All I know is you like food. So this question, all I know is you're looking for another passport. I have no idea like what you're looking to get out of that passport. So if you're looking for a powerful passport, you know what I'll do? Let's pull up the for whoever wants to stay, stay. And I don't want to feel, make anybody feel like they gotta stay. I'm gonna pull up the ranking of the passports so you can see directly who's ahead of us. And then based on those numbers, I would say anybody who's ahead of us or within the top, I would say within the top out of 195 countries, I'll say within the top 20 would be my first set of passports to look at. Now, then there's a whole lot of other qualifiers that I would need to know before I suggest it. So let me see if I can find the page I was looking at, and I'm gonna pull it up. But again, if you have any more questions, go ahead. And I have time. My water deliveries here. I'm good. It's probably have like another 15, 20 minutes if necessary. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. You can ask about anything related to my journey to residency or investing or whatever. And I'm going to pull up the actual list of, or the ranking, I should say. Okay. So, and this is a good resource for you too that you could look at any time. Give me a second. I have to transfer this to Chrome and then pull it up or add it to Stage. Hold on one second. Okay. Allow selection. Accept selection. Okay. Now I need to share the screen. Present, share screen, share screen. Official passport index, add that. Now I have to pull up to Stage. I just like to talk through this because it's just so antiquated. It's such an antiquated way to have to present, but right now it is what it is. So, okay. So I'm just going to scroll. This is the Henley Passport Index. This is the official ranker of global passports. And so, oh, I got to hide because I can't even, let me hide this for a second. Okay. Oh, why is it not moving? Okay, what the heck? Why is it not scrolling? Okay, let me try this again. Hold on one second. Let me refresh it. Maybe that's what I need to do. Oh. Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Let me just make sure you can see it and then I'll start. Yeah. Oh, maybe, let me move myself. Okay. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this ranking real quick. So we talked about how Singapore is number one. And then you see how many two-way ties, second place ties there are. Look at this. So in second place, you have Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Spain, Australia, Denmark, Ireland, Luxembourg, Netherlands. Excuse me, I'm still going. It stopped at Spain for number 2. So yeah, so that all of those countries, let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 countries in second place. Let's go to third place. You have Austria, Denmark, Ireland, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, all in third place. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Another 7. 7 in third place. In fourth place, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's Belgium, New Zealand, Portugal, Switzerland, United Kingdom in fourth place. Now, remember in 2014, we were tied with the UK. 2015, we were number 1. The UK is only down to number 4. We are at number 8 with all of these other countries ahead of us. So let's go to fifth place with 2 countries, Australia and Greece. Let's go to 6, 1 country, Poland. Let's go to 7, Canada, ahead of us. Czechia. Hungary, Malta are all in 7th place ahead of the US. And the US is here, 8th place. And this is the number of countries that we're allowed to enter visa-free. The rest of the countries that I listed already are ahead of us. Have more countries or more access to countries visa-free. And so if you want to keep going and see like 20, I would not go. Well, you know what? Listen, I ain't mad at Barbados. Barbados is my favorite Caribbean island. So if you want to look at Barbados, I'm not too keen on Bahamas. I like Bahamas as a destination, but as far as passports, I don't know. Mexico's at 23. And so, yeah, so basically, if you're looking for passports, let me get back to the questions. Let me stop this. If you're looking at the passport question, I would want to get a passport someplace better than the US, but understand that is not an easy feat. Just like it's not an easy feat to get a US passport through citizenship or marriage or whatever. There's things that you have to do, and it takes a long time. But if you're willing to wait and have the patience, then these are things that, if you're younger or if you know somebody younger, try to get them to start doing that now. And that's why I said these are things that were so hidden from us. And this country is not at the top of countries with their citizens having other additional passports. But other countries are. So yeah. Okay, so let me not get on the soapbox. Where did I leave off? Whose passport? There you go. I read that one. France 24 News seems to be unbiased, and they cover all the countries, not just France. Oh, good. I figured when you posted that, and let me Solo Belichick. Am I saying that right? Sol Belichick, or it's Soleil Belichick. Yeah, no, you're right. I figured that when you said that you like watching it. I just never even thought about it. And you know what? Because I'm also not consuming news all the time. So I have certain ones, but I'm going to definitely check them out. So thank you for that recommendation. Pam Ransom, what part of Mexico am I moving to? So I'm going to be what you call a bopper. I am going to spend time across different cities, with Playa del Carmen probably being my home base. If it's not Playa, it will be in that region, Quintana Roo, which includes Cancun, Puerto Morales, Tulum, and Playa del Carmen. And the only reason I may be hesitant with Playa del Carmen is because of the influx, the massive influx into a very small part of Playa del Carmen, which is near the water, so it's the center of town. And the construction that's continued still is going on to this day. So it's still my favorite place, but my realtor even told me to wait, like just as far as I probably won't buy anything just simply because I don't want that headache. But if I thought about buying, prices are overinflated right now. There are way too many buildings going up, and there's going to be a crash, right? And so basically, she was saying, just wait. But Playa del Carmen is my beloved city in Mexico. I like it because one of the water, and I also the other thing about me, as much as I'm for the movement, the upward movement of my people, I like different cultures. And so the thing I like about Playa, I have met some really cool Canadians. I've met some really cool white Americans that act, I'm sure, I mean, even from the South, but they have traveled and they have been experienced. And when I say even from the South, because we know in the South, the history of the South, and there's still a lot of, you know, things that happen in the South that don't happen as much or as overtly up north. And so I do love Playa for that reason. It brings that whole area, Quintana Roo, which includes also like Cozumel and Isla Mujeres. There, there's a spiritual energy that is there. And I'm not even one, like I was one of those people like, yeah, right, whatever, until I went there. The cenotes, they have a spiritual energy, and the cenotes are pretty much bodies of water in a cave. But it's a great place to go, and it's a pastime of locals as well as residents and expats and tourists. And there's just something very special about that area. Tulum, up until, a few years ago, was a very remote place that was all about getting centered and getting that spiritual connection. And now it has an airport that they just opened this year, and JetBlue flies there. And so people are upset about that because there's a mass, it's turning more into a tourist destination. And I knew that was going to happen. Let me see if I could plug this in. You know what? I'm just going to keep it like this. Hopefully you guys are cool with this. But I knew my light was going to die. But anyway, so I recommend anyone who's looking for a soft landing to check out Playa, that whole Quintana Roo area. And Playa, the best thing about Playa is so walkable if you live in the town. Now, I also have that video that talks about the things that I didn't like. Like, listen, they don't believe in paving no sidewalks. It's the sidewalks. I've known people that ended up in the hospital with twisted legs. I've tripped more times than I can count, so much so that I walk in the street now. Like, I'm not even trying to deal with those sidewalks. So that was one of the things. I also didn't like the humidity. Starting in May, really, the humidity can be so, for me, unbearable. Again, I'm from the Northeast, and so I prefer places that are less humid. And that humidity, it even messes with my vocal cords. Like I can't do New Orleans in the summertime. Well, that's also because of the mold too, but the humidity is outrageous. And so that's why I plan on being like a bopper. So I like places like Guadalajara. And Guadalajara is inland, and it's a totally different vibe. Now, I like Guadalajara to stay for like a month at a time. But then there's also, like, I would visit Mexico City, but I wouldn't live there long term just because I don't want the same traffic issues or the same noise issues. And when I say noise, like, it's just a lot of people, more people than New York. So I'm going to probably bop. And then, like I said, New York is still my favorite place in the summertime. And so until that changes, until, the purge, which we're going to talk about tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., until that purge starts happening here, then you know, to me, there's no greater place than New York City in the summertime. And that's just my preference. Like, everybody has their own preference. And so if that's your city and you just want to bop around a little and then come back during your favorite time of the year in that city, that is perfectly fine. You don't let nobody tell you how your future should look. You just don't let them tell you not to have options. That's the one thing you don't let them tell you. You cannot let them tell you, oh, you don't need a plan B. You don't need an option. Everything's going to be okay. And if it's okay, fine. And one of my favorite sayings, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. If you don't need a plan B, then fine. But if you need it and you don't have it, that's my fear for us as a people. How do you handle paying taxes to two countries? Each country is different, and some countries let you live there tax free, and then others don't. So that's part of the immigration. When you look up the visas, they will tell you all of that. And so I don't have that. I don't work in Mexico, so I don't have to pay taxes in Mexico. So yeah, so each country is different. So if you want, again, there's links, clickable links to the resource guide that's currently in my description. I'm not sure if I put it in this one today yet, but it will be at the completion of this video. And you could click directly to the immigration site and see what the requirements are for taxes as well. And yeah, so each country is like different, and those are 8 countries. So if those are 8 countries that you're interested in, then you could get that resource guide. Once again, you said you have to visit Mexico at least once to apply for residency. So yeah, so you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna get the light because I like people. You know, I want you to see my expressions and all of that. So it's just gonna take me 1 second. Give me one. Okay, hopefully that's better. And that was a little bit more than a second. So, so yeah, so the first step is applying in your home country at the Mexican consulate. And there's different consulates you could go to in the United States. Some require that you live. This thing is too hot, so I need to change it. Some require that you go to the one in your home state, and then others you could fly into. Like, I think Atlanta is an open one, and there's other ones. So yeah, so you have to start the process in your home state. I mean, in your home country. And then after you get approved, you have up until 180 days to go to Mexico to complete the process. And that's when you go to it's called INM. It's the immigration office in Mexico, and they will they will complete the process. And sometimes you could get it done like within a week. Sometimes sometimes you could get it done within a week. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes you could get it done the same day. So, but you do have to finalize the process and get your actual residency card. They still say it's a green card, but it's not really green anymore. Well, mine's isn't green. And you get it done there. Let's see what other questions. I'm hoping they don't try to us like during the time Marcus Garvey. Are you saying you hope, WM, saying you hope they don't try to do us like the time Marcus Garvey? What they're trying to do is bring this country back to where it started. And so pre-Marcus Garvey. How about that? They are looking to, make this country white again, completely vanilla, completely off of our backs, and then also trying to eliminate any story or any history of our contributions to this country. So, I mean, it's clear. It's not even a point that I like. I'm not going to argue people this point. I'm not going to um, discuss it in any great detail. We'll talk about it tomorrow, though, when we talk about Project 2025. So, yeah, to stop us, child, in more ways than one. They need the numbers stacked back in their favor. And so Steve Stout, who's a record executive, many years ago, he wrote a book called, not many, let's say a decade. He wrote a book called The Tanning of America. And when that book came out, I knew. I knew. Now, he's talking about how hip hop culture is shaping what was shaping the entire globe, basically, but especially in the United States, where, suburban kids were now conforming and, becoming like us. And so I'm going to share something else in a minute based on my career. And when that came out, I knew, whew. So another thing that people, and I think this is important to tell, because people may be like, well, how does she know this? What the heck is she talking about? Is she just making this up? It's all cap, it's fear mongering, which I've seen in the comment section. So part of my career working at the top, it used to be Black owned media company that services Black women, was meeting with Fortune 500 companies to persuade them that Black women were a viable audience to market to. And one of the selling points in the pitch, right, was that we were a fast growing segment. We are still an emerging market, is what it would be called, right? And so our growth rate was significant. Our spending power, our buying power is significant. And that by 2050, Black and brown people would be the majority. So if the country would have continued normal course, allowing immigrants, allowing interracial marriages, allowing population of more brown people, then these white men would have lost. Oh my gosh, there's a great interview with this Asian man having, and I forgot his name, he's having dinner with this white man who's being very transparent. Basically, they needed to stop the mixing of their pure blood, and they were scared to lose the majority. And listen, if there's a troll that ends up coming here, so you have to be a subscriber to comment on certain videos that I post, but some of them are waited out and start commenting. Don't even engage. Let them say whatever they need to say, want to say. They may be a bot. They may be a miserable person just sitting in their basement, or they may be a racist. Don't engage with them. Let them say what they're going to say. So let me get back to my story. So I used to be in meetings with executives, mostly white men. And when we would start talking about the tanning of America, so to speak, and how our numbers were growing in such a way that we were going to be the majority, you could see their brain spinning. Like, many of them had never heard it before. Like, that can't be. Oh no, impossible. Sometimes I think by us doing that, I mean, although it was the truth and it needed to be said, um, it planted seeds. Now they, of course, they see the census numbers, they know what's going on, but I saw how shaken they were getting just by those comments. And so I say all that to say they are not going to let that happen. They have the money, they have the power, they have the numbers. Period. We are still a minority and a divided minority. And so um I don't, I'm keeping a smile. I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom because of the plan Bs. Now, things could change and they may be like, okay, borders are closed. I don't care if you have residency, you can't go over. Then we pivot and then we, have a plan C or plan D. But until that happens, the signs will start coming before that happens. They can't just, there's too much money going back and forth between certain countries that they're not just going to do that. Um, but I will say, they have plans. They have big plans. And the writing has been on the wall for a minute. And I don't care who you are, what you think. Actually, I do want to play. Listen to, oh no, I'm supposed to save that for tomorrow. So there's a conversation that happened. I don't know if it was the House or the Senate yesterday, with a white woman who literally laid out the purge. And so not just people, but every institution as we know it. And they have the numbers. They have the House and the Senate. I don't care how how people used to vote across lines and stuff before. They have the House, they have the Senate, they have the Supreme Court. They have a whole lot of attorney generals. The numbers are so far stacked in their favor, just like we're trying to stack things in our favor. Oh, they've been stacking. And so at the end of the day, I just want us to, like I said, have a plan B and realize that everyone's not going to fall in line. You're going to have to leave some people behind. But put your oxygen mask on first. And a lot of it's for our mental health, because you think the news cycle these past 4 years have been horrific, having to listen to this stuff be ingrained in our brains every day. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to read that. Thanks. 60-year-old female retiring and strongly want so up and out. And strongly want so up and out. Thanks, James. I can follow you more clearly. Okay, thank you. I think there was a little typo there, but I think I got the gist of what you were saying. Solo Belichick. Yes, options are necessary. Thank you so much, Kim. Yo, you're so welcome. So welcome. And like I said, options could be moving to the town over. It could mean, like, I know people who are living mostly either in rural parts of either different places, different states, that are like, oh, heck no, I cannot live here anymore. Like, they are getting besides themselves. The celebrations that's happening, the fact that their kids have to go to school with these people. I've heard people, every Wednesday I have a accountability meeting with my investment group, and one of the investor people I meet with, the police presence at her son's football game in Virginia has, first of all, they didn't have one before. Now they have a significant police presence. Like, this, I can't live like that. And I couldn't have a Black child living. Listen, they'd be tied up in the basement. I would not let them leave the house. Like, they'd hate me, because for their safety, I would not let them go anywhere. Okay, green beans. I have been trying to spread the word at work, especially among those younger than me, to have a plan B, especially moving options other than the US. I work for the Fed, so I be low key about it. LOL. Yeah, you listen. Anyone in DEI, anyone who is part of a multicultural anything, anyone who is in the federal government employed should definitely have a plan B. Again, I don't know what the plan B is for you, but just know that there's some real changes that are on the horizon that are being worked on as we speak. These calls are happening now. The Heritage Foundation has everything laid out. I don't care how they change the name of Project 2025. The wheels are in motion. The train has left the station, and we just need to know it and be prepared. Green beans. I waited longer than I should to start thinking about these things. Now, my next thing is to learn more about investments in the stock market and get more residual income. Yeah, there's tons of ways to do that, and there's tons of resources. That's another goal I have of mine. This will definitely be after. It will be leading into December for the new year to start an investment strategy because um, that's where all the wealthy people are making their money. Real estate is cool too, but as far as disposable, you can live off of dividends, you can live off of your compound interest. Like if you have a strategy, you can. So a lot of us are so far behind the eight ball, and we're catching up, but not in the drastic numbers that it will take for us to have enough wealth to combat what's about to happen as a collective. Green beans. I'm 42, but I'm not too old to learn. Oh no, please. Are you kidding me? If you start investing now, 42, and let's just say you could listen, I don't know your salary, but with the right strategy, um, you could still retire earlier than because they're about to push up the retirement age to like 70 something. So so yeah, you can retire early. So is residency the same as citizenship from Sakimit's heart? No. So residency is simply that, like you are allowed to reside in that country for whatever the term is. So if it's permanent residency, then you're allowed to reside there without having to leave the country, like on a visa. So most visas are temporary, like they have X amount of days that you could stay on the visa. After, if you stay over that, you are breaking the law. You are definitely um, certain countries they won't bother you, but you are definitely considered undocumented at that point, right? And so um that's a visa. Residency gives you longer term stays. So some people do a 1 year residency in certain countries. Some people do a 3 year, 4 year, depending on the country. And you can stay in that country without having to leave that country up until that time. Or if you're a permanent resident, you can stay permanently without having to leave. Now, you can leave, but you don't have to leave. Citizenship means that you are taking an oath to that country, right? You are now a citizen of said country. You can have dual citizenship, which that allows you the opportunity to vote, to get a passport, to do all the things. Think of you being a citizen here in the US. It allows you those same rights. And so think of somebody who comes here as a resident. They don't have those rights. You can't vote. You can't. There's certain financial things you can't do. There's certain investments you can't make. So um, they're very different. Citizenship is much harder to acquire than a residency in, I believe, all countries. You could get citizenship sometimes through investment, but a lot of times especially the higher ranking countries that have the better passports, just like the US, it may take people 10 years to get citizenship. Unless you marry, then that may shorten the time or something like that. So, yeah, they're very different. And I don't talk really much about citizenship on this channel because the rules or the barrier to entry is much greater, and that's not the urgency. I saw that dinner interview. Yeah, Ebad. Yeah, that was real. Like listen, I appreciate give me a white man who ain't afraid to tell the truth. And I say the truth. Now, I'm not talking about somebody who's going to lie every second. Listen, I could appreciate that, but he comes from that's his era. That's his time. And and you look at Congress and you look at the Senate, there's still too many older white men who come from a time when Jim Crow, civil rights, they remember when we couldn't vote, which is only 60 years old, right? We've only been allowed to vote for 60 years. Oh, yeah, that trust and believe, that is in jeopardy too. So they are afraid, very afraid, Yvette, 100%. It's no joke. It is no joke. And I guess, you know what, when they brought us over here, they truly didn't expect us to survive the way we did. They didn't expect us to fight back the way we did. And they didn't expect us to become as smart and brilliant and competitive and all the things. Lawyers, PhDs. So now they're trying to reduce all of our higher education or job, acquiring of jobs as a quota, a DEI hire. And I also recommend, I don't know if anybody's still on Clubhouse, but every now and then I'll find my way into a room and I just listen to some of them speak and share their real thoughts about what this country is doing. And so many of them swear up and down that we have taken all the jobs from the white man and we have. So anyway, but yeah, so sometimes just eavesdrop and listen, not eavesdrop, but just listen to what the opposite side. And even if you're on, listen, I don't understand people that are on that side. I understand a couple sets. Like I do understand a couple sets. Now I don't understand anyway. But yeah, so just listen to what the other side are saying. And I don't really like talking specific politics on this channel, but I do talk about mistreatment, injustice, and what we need to do to prepare for the future. Diane B. Thanks for your work. I didn't know about passport levels. Never know US rank had moved so low. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. And we don't know. We don't know. Yes, yes. Yeah, I know Rashida Dow. Yes, yes, yes. Co-founder of Exodus Summit has residency. She's in Mexico City. Yes. And has been there for a while. And she retired early as well. She's an attorney who was able to retire, I want to say 39. At 39, she left her job, her corporate lawyer job, and was out and has never been happier. Does that say extraterrestrial? Oh my God, I live for these names. Oh my gosh. It astounds. Yeah, if you're talking about these peoples, yes. It astounds me that so many people still believe these folks will follow the rules of the law. So the sad thing is, education has failed a lot of people. A lot of us don't know about civics. A lot of us don't know about government. A lot of us don't know about politics. Our system has failed. The education system has failed, especially in comparison to other countries. And so they were able to capitalize off of that, off of us not understanding what's really at stake. And so, yeah, ignorance is bliss. Let's see, Black women of all ages and economic levels are moving abroad, and Exodus Summit helps Black women only use financial strategies to make the move. This is a movement. Yes. The only place I differ is I bring my brothers along too. I'm sorry. I don't believe in excluding. This is a movement. When Harriet, brought us from the South, she didn't say women only. I think, we still got to move as a unit. There's only strength in numbers, and we can't be the only culture where we are so divided from our men that we are willing to just abandon them. So my commitment is to the Black culture, the Black community, period. And so I'm a follower of the Exodus Summit, but my approach is just different in the sense that my channel speaks to men and women, and those who want to listen do, and those who don't won't. And that goes for men and women. But I think we definitely need to unify versus diversify. But there's room for everyone. So I listen, I worked for a media company, a media company and publishing house that service Black women exclusively. And so I get it. But when it comes to something this important, this critical, I don't want to be, listen, I need somebody to fight with me. I need that strength. I need that. Listen, that's just, and I like to play spades with men, and I like to joke with men, and I like to have community with men in addition to women. And so that was rambling, but okay. Good content. Thanks for sharing. Oh, you're welcome. Solo. I'm not gonna say your name again. I'm just gonna read Solo Belichick. I've heard stories of people acting out here at Beverly Hills High School towards Black students and teachers. This is just, the person has not even taken office yet. Okay. So the empowerment still is kind of in our hands, right? And when I say in our hands, in the Democrats' hands, right? So you're supposed to punish people like that. But the mindset has already shifted, and it's only going to get worse. And that's why I worry about our children. They had to go to the school board about it. And soon the school board, that's another fear. And as we talk about this, the other fear is you're not going to know, because the country is, let's just say 50-50. When you go to the doctor, when you go to interview, you don't know which side. And I've seen some videos of people talking about, just the differences that they've seen at work, in HR as well, based on the results. And so, yeah, we need to, know this stuff and execute on it. Stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Husbands are moving with women, Exodus Summit as well. No, I understand that. No, I get that. But the community is women exclusively. So that's where I differ. My community is men and women, period. It's not, I appreciate, especially if it's a man who understands and is, for the betterment of our people. They're just too important for me to exclude. And so again, like I said, I am a member of the Exodus Summit community. My community is male and female. And so, yeah. And so if you're not a husband, right, you cannot be part of that community. This community, if you're not a husband, you can't be part of it. So, yeah, so that was just the point I wanted to make. So I think that's all the questions. It looks like I got through all the questions. Just a reminder, we will be back here at 8 p.m. tonight to just talk about digital nomad, digital countries that accept digital nomads that maybe you want to think about to rank on your list, and what some of the requirements are, and what are some of the digital nomad jobs that are available to people of all ages. And so if you are still in, if you're in your 50s and 60s, but you still want to generate an income, how can you do that? And what are the most popular ones? So we're going to talk about that tonight. And then tomorrow we are going to just have a quick blitz talking about what 2025 is, what they promised us they were going to do, and why we should really take them seriously, and what that could mean for our future. So again, it's all about staying ready so we don't have to get ready. And so Jan Wiggs, the Dems are starting to bow down to the other side to escape retribution. Okay. Do you want to know my POV? I'm going to give it to you anyway. This is all part of a bigger plan. Guess what? Who controls this country? Mostly old white men, both on the Democratic side and the Republican side. And I don't think for 1 minute that the old white men on the Democratic side did not worry about becoming the minority. And it was only the Republican old white men that worried about that. So, I don't know about no bowing down to retribution or anything. I think there's a system in place. And I think that there's an objective that, listen, the way I want us to plan, they've been planning. They've been playing checkers excuse me, they've been playing chess at a high level, master chess, while we've been sitting here playing tic-tac-toe. And so, yeah. So my POVs could be a little different than some people, and which is why I don't really like talking politics. But I do know based on my POV and some things I know, this is a movement that is too important for me not to share and talk about. And so again, no judgment on, what you believe. I believe they're all in this together is what I'm saying. I believe that they're all in this together and that the overall goal is to get the country back to the good old days. The good old days. And so anyway, let me see. Any more questions? I think that was it. The gyms are starting and there's one more. Jan Wig, yes. Jan Wig, I agree with you. Yeah, this is bigger. This is bigger than Dems and Republicans. This is a country that is was founded on certain principles. We got far away from that, and they got to whip things back into shape before they lose the country, because that's what's at risk, really, and they're not going to let that happen. So yeah. So that's pretty much, I guess that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, we are on the 13th day of our daily lives to create a community where we are preparing for our next move. And whatever that next move is, I'm not here to tell you what it is. I'm telling you what mine is. And then I'm also saying that there just needs to be a plan for most of us. Like it could be a plan to move to a different town, a plan to leave your job, a plan to, you know, sell your home now because you need, you may be in debt. Whatever your plan is, I want you to start thinking about it seriously. And most important, I want you to get all your paperwork done and your passport together. And that is pretty much, I would say, what I would, if you don't have it, that's what I would love for you to focus on for the rest of the year, till the end of the year, and then really ramp up the exiting part, the top of next year, if you can. But definitely within a year, like have a 1-year plan, but we go week to week, right? We do week to week plans. And again, that accountability book will be in the description. If it's not, the From Here to There guide is in the description. I also have a 300 things manifestation journal and tracker because I believe in writing down everything. And I get that from the Steve Harvey method. And yeah, so check out the description and see what it is that, if anything resonates with you, and then come back at 8 and we will chat about the digital nomad life and how we can take advantage of it. And it's open for everyone. The digital nomad life is open for everyone. So great information. Thank you, Jinwig. Great conversation. Thank you. Stephanie, thank you. See you at 8 o'clock. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. I mean, like I said, I want to do these lives as long as, people continue to come and still are engaged. And as long as I have time, and I'm literally making time, like I'm saying no to things to make sure that I'm here to do this because it's so urgent and it's timely. It is timely. It's not like, we got another 7 months before, things shift. Yeah, they're shifting now. Oh, you're welcome, Moni. Thank you so much for supporting always. Okay, Kevin, I will see you then. Jacqueline, oh, you're welcome. Oh, thank you so much. This was good. This was fun. And definitely check out the people that I referred if you're interested in making a budget. Picky Girl Travels the World. If you want to see someone else who did a budget on living on a cruise ship for $2,000 a month, her channel is From Poverty to Paradise. And I don't know her. I just, got connected on the YouTube streets with her as well, meaning I saw her video and was like, ooh, I'm very interesting, because there's so many ways to plan your exit. Everybody doesn't have to move to Mexico. Everybody doesn't have to move to Canada. Everybody doesn't have to move to Portugal, so whatever works for you and is within your budget. And again, thankful. I'm glad this was helpful. WM. Oh, I'm so happy. And I will see you guys tonight and then again tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then I'll let you know what time Sunday I'll be on tomorrow. So, okay, have a good night or good day, everybody. And I'll see you at 8. Take care. Bye.